Welcome to Space Secrets English. I'm Mr. Sufayan, and today we're blasting off into one of the most ambitious space missions of 2025. Russia's launch of 53 satellites. This wasn't just a routine ride to orbit, it was a geopolitical chess move that included satellites for Iran, showcasing how Moscow is flexing its space muscle amid global tensions. Picture this: a Soyuz 2.1B rocket roaring to life from the remote Vostochny Cosmodrome in Russia's Far East, carrying a payload that could reshape alliances and surveillance capabilities. Launched on November 5, 2024, but marking a pivotal moment extending into 2025's space agenda, this mission deployed 55 objects in total, with a Fregat upper stage orchestrating the separation like a cosmic conductor. Why 53 small satellites, and how does partnering with Iran supercharge Russia's orbital dominance? Let's dive deep into the tech, the strategy, and the ripple effects that could redefine space power in the coming years. First, the nuts and bolts of this epic launch, the Soyuz 2.1B, a workhorse of Russian rocketry, evolved from the Soviet-era designs that first put humans in space, thundered off the pad at 5:25 local time. Weighing in at about 312 tons at liftoff. It generated over 7.3 million pounds of thrust from its 3 boosters, punching through the atmosphere in under 9 minutes to reach low Earth orbit at around 500 kilometers altitude. The real magic happened with the Fregat upper stage, hydrogen-fueled beasts that ignited multiple times to fine-tune orbits for each payload. This allowed the precise deployment of 2 heavyweight Ionosfera-M satellites, first, each tipping the scales at 430 kilograms and designed for heliogeophysical monitoring. These twins, part of the Ionosonde 2025 project, will scan the ionosphere, that electrically charged layer from 50 to 400 miles up where Earth's atmosphere kisses space, by tracking solar flares, geomagnetic storms, and plasma densities. Ionosfera-M helps predict space weather that can fry electronics on satellites or disrupt GPS worldwide. Roscosmos plans to launch 2 more in 2025, completing a quartet that could give Russia unparalleled real-time data on near-Earth threats, far superior to aging systems like the old Intercosmos probes. Now, the star of the small-sat show, those 53 CubeSats and nanosats. Mostly under the Universat program and Space Spy initiative. These pint-sized powerhouses, many built by Russian university students, weigh just a few kilograms each but pack sensors for everything from Earth observation to tech demos. 47 were purely Russian, testing new propulsion, eye navigation, and quantum comms. Then came the international flare Rusochin's Druzhba, Atok students sat for atmospheric research, a Russo-Zimbabwean Zimsat-2 for remote sensing in Africa, and crucially, 2 Iranian gems, Hodhod and Kowsar. Hodhod, a 3U cubes, sat about the size of a loaf of bread, is a communications relay designed to beam data back to Tehran with low power efficiency, perfect for Iran's rugged terrain. Kowsar, a beefier 24U model, boasts high-resolution imaging at sub-meter detail, capable of spotting vehicles or infrastructure from orbit. These mark Iran's first private sector satellites lofted by Russia, built by Omid Faza company since 2019. Unlike Iran's homegrown launches, which often fizzle due to sanctions-hit tech, this ride ensured reliability. Hodhod and Kowsar separated flawlessly into sun-synchronous orbits for daily passes over the Middle East. But why does this matter for Russia's space power? In a nutshell, it's about numbers, alliances, and deterrence. Russia once dominated launches, peaking at 30 per year in the 2010s. But sanctions, post-Ukraine invasion, slashed that to 13 in 2024. This 53-sat swarm, a bold statement. Moscow can still mass-produce and deploy like no one else, outpacing even SpaceX's single-mission records for small payloads. By 2025, with more Ionosfera launches, Russia's constellation could swell to over 200 active sats, enhancing its clonus GPS rival and military eyes like Cosmos series. The Iran angle amplifies this exponentially. Tehran, starved of Western tech, relies on Russia for heavy lift. Recall the 2022 Kayam Earth Observer and February 2024's PAS-1 topographer. Now, with Hodhod and Kowsar, Iran gains eyes in the sky for border surveillance, drone ops intel, and even missile guidance streaks. Critics in the West cry foul. These imaging sats could dual use for targeting in conflicts like Yemen or Gaza. bolstering the axis of autocrats with China and North Korea. Russia, in turn, gets cash infusions, systemated $50 to $100 million per launch plus geopolitical leverage as anti-Western pacts deepen. Think joint ventures like the 2025 Russo-Iranian Nahid-2 CubeSat, which could link military networks across Eurasia. Zoom out, and this launch signals a shifting orbital battlefield. Space is the new high ground. Sats enable everything from hypersonic missile tracking to cyber warfare. Russia's swarm tactics, flooding orbits with cheap CubeSats counter US Starlink's 6,000-plus birds by creating resilient, redundant networks for Iran. It's a sanctions war, turning Russian rights into strategic assets that could monitor US carriers in the Gulf or Israeli strikes. Yet risks loom. Crowded orbits mean collision hazards, with Kessler syndrome a nightmare scenario. Environmentally, each frigate burn spews toxic hydrazine, but Roscosmos touts green propellants for 2026 tests. Looking ahead to late 2025 and beyond, expect more fireworks. Roscosmos eyes 20 launches, including Angare 5 debuts and lunar hops with Iran. This 53-sat triumph isn't just a record, it's Russia's declaration. Space remains our playground. Alliances, our rocket fuel. What do you think? Genius power play or risky escalation? Comment below, like if you're hooked on space drama. And subscribe for our next deep dive into black hole mergers. Thanks for orbiting with Space Secrets Udwan. Till next time, keep looking up.